guys? My name is Zero Heroes and welcome to some more Call to Arms news. Now, the reason I'm uploading this video today, or a video today, because I usually upload videos every 2 days, and I know for the past week or so it's been a bit of a mess. So last week I uploaded like 4 or 5 videos in a row and it did really well, and then this week I'm uploading like 2 to 3 videos a day now, or sorry, yeah, it's been a mess. So, but the reason I'm uploading this video today, even though I did a Call to Arms video yesterday, and it's because when I got off Call to Arms, when I finished my recording yesterday, I noticed that this popped up. So the developers update 34. So when I was off camera and I was just reading by myself, or when I was reading this by myself, there's something that very much caught my eye that we all really want, and that is finally the German campaign. It says it right here, and oh my goodness, this is what I've been excited for a long time. Well, even before when I had the Ultimate Edition, it's just something that the whole Call to Arms community has wanted, and a few other things that have been said here as well, such as the Conquest Mode that recently got implemented, and there's a few things that the Call to Arms are adding to it, as well as the new Netcode, which I mentioned in last week's video, so which explained, you know what it is, and why I feel like it's good. So I'll be reading this, but I won't be explaining the whole reason why I think it is, because I've already explained that. And if you want to go see it, then I'll leave the video where I did explain it in in the description, or it will be in the top right hand of the screen as well. But today I'm just going to be reading over all the things that the developers update or Call to Arms have said here, and then what I'll do is I'll explain and then I don't know, I've really just started press recording, and then that's it. And then I'll be saying why these things are good for the game, or why aren't they good for the game. So if you like what you see and you want more of that, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button as well, and if you are new to the channel, then make sure you hit the notifications bell as well, because that means every time I release a video like this, then you guys can get notified instantly, as well as other Call to Arms and other games as well on the channel. But without further ado, let's get into the news. So this is Developers Update 34. So this was released on Tuesday the 26th of November at 6 o'clock at GMT, so that's UK time. So that was yesterday they posted this. So they've said, welcome to our 34th developers update for Call to Arms. We are pleased that the new update has been well received, and we have a big spike in player activity. We only with a great community and interactive game like this can be successful, and Call to Arms is turning out to be doing pretty well. This couldn't be accomplished without your help, so thank you very much. We are devoted to listen to your feedback, and we are eager to provide solutions as soon as possible. Now let's talk about how we can improve the game even further. So in the first part, so Call to Arms are pretty much it's pretty much explanatory at the start. They're just saying thank you very much for recent update, and I think Call to Arms are even right on that. I think I've been playing Call to Arms a lot more that this Conquest Mode had come out, and because it's a new, and the reason is because a lot of players have the spike activity has gone up for the players, or the player activity has gone up, is because they added in a new game mode in the game, and it's Conquest Mode, and that is something that everybody has wanted. You've got your campaign single player, and then you've got your skirmish, kind of your multiplayer online, which you can battle against each other. But this is a new game mode, and it's something completely different that everybody has wanted, and therefore, which is why the spike player activity has gone up, because it's something new, it's something fresh, and it's something that everybody wanted within the community. So a big shout out for Call to Arms for making this update, and just a big shout out for you guys for making this Conquest Mode happen, and for making everybody happy and making sure that they get the content that they want, because that is very important in a game. You have to listen to your audience, you have to listen to your community, because if you don't listen to your community, then people are going to stop playing your game. So just a big shout out for Call to Arms for doing that. Right, so let's move on to what we'll do is we'll get into the kind of the main one last, but we'll do the conquest. So the conquest mode, which was recently implemented, which I did talk about last week. Sorry, not last week. Was it 2 weeks ago or a week ago, where I talked about the update on Conquest? So again, if you haven't seen that, then I will leave a description down below. But so here we go. So it says we believe the Conquest game mode has lots of potential and we have a great vision for it. We cannot promise it just now, but we can imagine turning this into some PvP game mode as well. That's actually quite good. So, sorry, I'll keep reading. Wouldn't that be cool? But aside from that, we will enhance the single player cooperative experience for you with several steps presented below. So that is actually quite good. So what Call to Arms is saying there is that they're going to bring in some PvP game modes for Conquest. I mean, I know you can do your cooperative and your single player, so you can actually play with friends, but I think they're actually going to bring in, I think they're actually going to bring kind of a separate kind of game mode for PvP in the Conquest mode, if that makes sense. Or it might be a completely different game mode. It might be a completely different game mode for Call to Arms, again, like the Conquest mode, where they do something completely different and it's a new PvP game mode. But I don't know, it could be something else. I don't know. So they said that, wouldn't that be cool? But aside from that, we will enhance the single player cooperative experience for you with several steps presented below. So the first thing they put in was, well, they've added in 3 steps, so or 3 things to add for the new Conquest mode. So they've put strategic maps, game mode I was about to say Viagra there. Game mode variety and cooperative. So we'll go into the first one and then we'll go down. So strategic maps. So I said we are planning to introduce strategic map. There you can choose your next targets and battle for the AI for total map control. A lot of players have asked for this feature, and we are listening. It will take a couple of months to complete, but it's shaping up nicely already. Now, this is something that I when I read this over myself, this is something that I thought to myself, do I agree with this or do I not? I mean, on one side, I agree with it, because if a lot of players are asking for this, then Call to Arms are actually listening to they're listening to their comments, they're listening to what they want, which is what all game developers should do. They should listen to their community, which I'm really happy for. But on the other hand, I feel like this is not good, because what you're doing is, as much as players are asking this, I feel like it's going to be too easy then. Because someone that I know already, someone commented in a video recently that they loved the game mode and they thought it was really easy. But therefore, I mean, I'm really happy that you get to actually choose your next targets and you get to, where was it? There you can choose your next targets and battle for the AI for the total map control. So you can actually choose your next target and the next battle, which I presume which map you want to choose next. For the AI for total map control. Now, I slightly disagree with that, and the reason for this is because I feel like it's going to be too easy for the players, for the player base, and then it's just going to be boring, because it's going to be repetitive. It's going to be, it's going to be a lot easier for the players to play the game, unless you put it on like hard mode, which I've been doing on my Conquest mode, because as you can see in yesterday's video, I got completely wrecked in the second round. But I like the way that they're doing this, because currently in the Conquest mode, you don't get to choose a map, or you don't get to choose, who your next target is. So I presume your next target it means like, it could be like the Russian. If you're Germany or America, you might want to play against the GRM or the Russians. I presume that's what it means by saying choosing your next targets. But again, for the AI, or for AI for total map control, now again, I don't like the way that they said that, because it makes it easier. I know that a lot of players have asked for this, But in saying that, you have got to have your cons as well, because you're making it, I feel like you're going to make it too easy for the players to win every single game, and then that just gets boring, and then players are just going to go into another game, or they're going to play a different game mode, or they're going to play a different game, and then it just gets too easy. I mean, I feel like this is my personal opinion. Of course, your guys' personal opinion can completely change, and that's fine. I'm not going to take that away from you, but this is my personal opinion, and the fact that this could be, because it does say a lot of players have asked for this feature, and we are listening. It'll take a couple months to complete, but it's shaping up nicely already. I understand that a lot of players, because this is where the pros and cons come in. So the pro is that they're listening community, and that's what we want. That's what us players or community like to hear. That you guys, the developers, are listening to us, and we want you to implement all this stuff into the game. But on the other hand, it's a con, because I feel like for this, for total map control feels a lot. Feels it's just going to be too easy on me. If I'm going to play this new, if I want to choose my next target and next battle, and I know I'm really good at that map, I'm going to feel like, well, actually I don't want to play that, because I want to play other maps that I'm maybe not so good at, and I want to get better at, where the AI might be very good at that map, and I'm not. So it gives me the learning curve that I need to learn all these maps, and to say, I can, and once I've played that map, I can play it. I've played it, and that means, right, I know that I need to work on this, I need to work on this for next time. I've lost the first time, but maybe next time I'll win it, because I've tried different maps, and I haven't got complete map control. So I don't know about that, about having the total map control, but I like the part where you can choose your battle and your and your targets. But other than that, I think everything else is okay. Moving on to, so tell me actually what you think on that, on the strategic map, on the total map control, because I don't know, I'm very 50-50 about it right now. Okay, moving on to game mode Verity, I think that's how you pronounce it, but probably not. So we plan to introduce an attacker versus defender game mode for Conquest. Now this is what I'm really interested in. Defenders will already have some maps control and get supported by allied AI. For the future, we also plan to introduce bonus objectives and special missions that deliver an additional I can't speak today, variation, forget it, that word there. We understand that the current game mode can become repetitive, so we're already working on solutions for this. That is something that I like to hear. So Call to Arms, as much as they've just released the game mode, they already know that for players this is going to get repetitive. And because I've actually completed the game mode for the Conquest. I've made it, I've completed it, but on the other hand, it might not get repetitive because you can up the level of difficulty, so it gets more difficult, so it makes a wee bit of a change. But understand where they're coming from, because they know that a lot of players are, in the first couple of weeks or the first couple of months, it's going to get repetitive and boring. So this is why Call to Arms are introducing an attacker versus defender game mode for Conquest. Again, this is what I love about Call to Arms. They're always changing the game. They're always making new stuff. Even for the Conquest, they're making a game mode inside a game mode, if that makes sense. So they're making the Conquest game mode, which they've got, and then they're making a game mode inside the Conquest game mode called Attacker versus Defender. So it says defenders will already have some map control and get supported by allied AI. For the future, we also plan to introduce some bonus. So we'll just stick with that. So defenders will already have some map control and get supported by allied AI. So on that note, I feel like that's quite good as well, because if you're, let's say, on the hard difficulty, or you're literally about to get outrun, you can always have that support via the allied AI, and it's good because this is very much the Conquest mode is very much a single player game mode, the fact that you get supported by AI it shows that it's still very much a single player game mode, but you can also join up with your friends, and that, if you do have a mate, then you can join up with them, and then but I don't know if you still will get AI support because you already have a friend playing with you, but that's maybe something that Cult Arms maybe need to discuss, in the board or something. Okay, so it says, for the future, we also plan to introduce bonus objectives and special missions that deliver an additional that word there variation. I can't speak, my freaking dyslexia's kicking in. But anyway, so again, that is something that I like as well. We also plan to introduce some bonus objectives and special missions that deliver additional that word there. So that's actually quite good. So it's not just so they're not just making it the current game mode for Conquest. I mean, you've got your Conquest game mode, and then you've got your Attacker versus Defender game mode. So you have two games mode, and then they're not just leaving it there, because that would just be, because if they just left it there, again, it'd get repetitive, it'd get boring. So what they're doing is that they're introducing bonus objectives, they're adding special missions to the Conquest mode. We understand that the current game mode can become repetitive, so we're already working on solutions for this. That is something that I really like. So we're adding some bonus objectives and special missions. Now, I have no idea what they are. I to be honest, I don't know what. I couldn't even take a guess at it because it's such an early stage of of this new Attacker versus Defender game mode, or these new special missions. It's too early to guess. As much as I'd love to guess what it is, but I generally have no idea. So again, very props to Call to Arms for making this interesting, making this keeping this game keep going. And I'm sorry if my screen blacked out there, but anyway, I'm very happy to see that Call to Arms are taking this serious, unlike the summer game Minerva Assault Squad 2, which hasn't done an update. And the last update the thing that they recently updated in the game was the DLC, which is a Cold War, and not many people liked it. So, but Call to Arms have completely different, they're dedicated to their game, and they know that the players are going to get bored of the Conquest mode, and even when they introduce the Attacker versus Defender game mode, that'll get boring and repetitive too. So they're having a backup for that, for introducing a bonus objectives and special missions, which will make it a lot more interesting, a lot more attractive for the Conquest game mode, and it won't get boring and repetitive. So well done. Okay, last thing, which is in the Conquest kind of section here, which is cooperative. So some players want to be able to plan it beforehand. This is so when I read this is what I liked about it too. So it says some players want to be able to plan beforehand who gets what units on match start. Our take on this is to create an option to pre-assign units in your unit stages. So that is actually really good. So what they're saying is in that wee section is that because a lot of when you load up a game and you're playing with your friends and you want to decide, I want this unit, or I want this, and I want this unit squad, or I want that one, or and then by the time you're about to start, you have no time to actually get what you want. It's just as soon as you go into the cooperative, you're given you're given a country, you're given a nation, and then you don't get to select what you want. I think that's what that means, but again, I'm trying to get round this in my head as well, because when I read this over yesterday, I was trying to get this around my head as well. But other than that, so this is actually, so it's good that Call to Arms, because some players, I presume some players weren't happy when they were doing cooperative game mode with each other, that they weren't able to decide what units they want before the game starts. So it says our take on this is to create an option where to pre-assign units in your unit stages, which is really good. This way you don't have to bother assigning units to your friends on match start, because they will automatically distribute your co-op mate based on your previous setup. So that's really good as well. So I presume what that's saying is that when you, so this way you don't have to bother assigning units to your friends on match start. So what oh wait, so I think I'm getting it now. So what it is that when you get your units and when you get into the game, it's a hassle for players to to switch units. So they might get a unit that they don't want, and then your friend has a unit that they don't want. So when you actually, and then when you get into the game, you're wasting time at the start of the game to to decide what units you're getting, what your friends get, and then it's just a waste of time. And then by the time you've swapped it over, the enemy have already capped or starting to cap the base, and it wastes time. So by doing this, you can actually, the call to arms are giving you a chance to pre-prepare or pre-assign your units in your unit stages, so you get to prepare for so you can get the units that you want, so you can bring your strongest units that you're good at, and then when battle starts, you can instantly get into battle, have a lot of fun, and get to that capture point. So where was I? To your friends and matched up, because they will automatically distribute to your co-op mate based on your previous setup. So I presume that means, so this way you don't have to bother assigning units to your friends on matched up, because they will automatically distribute to your co-op mate based on your previous setup. So I presume what that means is that whatever the first, so let's say you make your first battle and you get your units that you want, and then what I think it does, it doesn't actually reset your unit selection. You can still keep it based on your previous setup, as it distributes it to your co-op mate based on your previous setup. So yeah, so let's say you make a first battle, and let's say the game finishes, and then the game decides, right, we have to reset all the units because it's a new game. Well, what this does is that this new update that they bring is that once you've done a battle and when you've completed it, it will stay, your units will stay based on your previous setup, which I presume which means, and then you can still share units via the co-op unit assign feature, but at least the main assignments will be auto-tuned or automated. So that's again really good. So well done for call to arms doing that. And it's really warm in my room. I've put on the heating because I was cold, but now I'm freaking boiling and I have a jumper on. Right, okay, open the window. Okay, so that there was, I'm sorry for the screen going black. If you guys see it, let me know. But other than that, that is kind of like what call to arms are adding in the new Conquest mode. It is a lot of stuff, considering it's just, I mean, they're talking about, they're not adding anything, they're adding something, they're adding new stuff to the game, but it's not a completely different game mode. They're adding stuff inside the current Conquest game mode to make it more interesting, to make it less repetitive, and to make it more of an awesome experience for you guys to play. So well done for call to arms. Now moving on to the netcode, or the new netcode. So as I've said at the start of this video, I recently, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I already discussed this, but I'll do it again. So because they've updated it, and it's getting closer to the update for the new netcode. So it says, new netcode. As we've mentioned in the past, we are working on an entirely new netcode, which I did in a video, which I'll leave in the description down below. It already works, and we are now in the process of implementing all features to be synchronized through a server model, as well as internal testing. We plan to have playable beta tests later this year. So that's good. So that means that we can actually get onto the once call terms do bring out maybe a beta test server, us community players can go on it and test to see if because they said it's working, but we as players want to experience that as well. So I presume they're bringing out beta test later this year. I presume that's maybe this is coming, the beta test will come maybe during Christmas time, maybe New Year's Eve, or maybe towards the end of the year. I don't know, we'll just have to see. Once it is completed, out of syncs are a thing in the past, and online performances will enhance significantly. I've said that shit, but whatever. After that, we want to move on with matchmaking and ranked games. So that is really good. So they've now done so every time, I don't know if a lot of you play Miniverse Squad 2 and you play online, and then there's a lot of out of syncs because one player has a really shitty internet or Ethernet cord or whatever it is, and then it affects the whole game, and then the game crashes, and then everyone complains, and then it's a whole hassle. Call to Arms have addressed this issue by adding in a new netcode, and they're saying that out of syncs are now a thing in the past. So, and the online performance will enhance significantly. Well, we're hoping that's true, Call to Arms, because we really want, for us players who want to play online, even if it's just with a random player, and let's say you have a bunch of your mates and you all enjoy Call to Arms, and then one of you have got really bad PC or one of you got really bad internet, whatever it is, and then the game crashes. They're saying that doesn't matter what PC spec you have, what internet spec you have, whatever it is, that out of syncs are now going to be done in the past. So that means everybody will be able to enjoy the game without any interruptions, without the game crashing, and hopefully, and that means that everybody will be happy when playing online in the game. And then after that, we want to move on to matchmaking and ranked games. Now, I have no idea what matchmaking and ranked games Call to Arms are thinking of. Nothing has really come to mind for that for me at the moment. Again, too, I feel like, personally me, I don't know, but I think it's, maybe too early of a stage for them to, I mean, it's good that they're mentioning it, but I don't know, what they're doing for the matchmaking ranked games, because they haven't mentioned much about it. All they're just saying is that we want to move on with matchmaking and ranked games, which again, I have no idea what it could be. So look out on this channel where Call to Arms will bring out a new update, and then maybe they'll mention more about the matchmaking and the ranked games. So look out for that on the channel. Okay, so that was a new netcode. Moving on to Airstrikes, so which I was kind of surprised about, because I never thought Airstrikes were a problem in Call to Arms, but here it is. So it says, a lot of players mentioned how much they like the special unit branch in our previous game. Now, when I actually read this to myself, I couldn't think what the special units are. I couldn't think, I can't actually remember, because I got this game, I got this game free, but I can't remember how long I now got the game for, but I remember something about the special units, but I can't remember what's in the special units. I presume it's like airstrikes and all that, but we will have a return of the special unit menu and introduce multiplayer airstrikes for the first time in Call to Arms. It also is a good step to increase the faction diversity and replayability. So that's actually really good. So they're actually adding a multiplayer airstrikes for the first time in Call to Arms. So I presume what that means is that when you go in the special menu, when it gets added into the game or implemented into the game, I presume that means multiple people when you play online. I presume this is mostly for when you actually play online, but I'm presuming it means that when you and your mate play, you're able to actually, both of you are able to use airstrikes at the same time and in the game, and I presume that's what it means. So it says we will have a return of the special menu and introduce multiplayer. It doesn't say multiple, it says multiplayer airstrikes for the first time in Call to Arms. I think what that means, but I don't know if that means they bring out more airstrikes or more more airstrike planes in the game, instead of just one airstrike along in your game if you're defending, but I don't know. So it says a lot of players are mentioned, so they're actually bringing back the special unit in the game, but I just can't remember what the special unit looked like. I wish I knew, but I really don't. I forgot. But if any of you have been long enough, probably longer than me, if you remember the special unit, then please do let me know in the comments, because I have forgot, and if maybe someone reminds me again, it'll probably come back to me and I'll maybe mention it in a later video when another update comes for Call to Arms. So that, and it's also good to increase the faction diversity and replayability, so that's really good. So they're saying that because they're adding in this new special unit and the multiplayer airstrikes, it's making the faction, when you're playing it against and let's say you're playing as Germany or America and you're playing against Russia, then it's going to be a fair balance, and diversity and reapplicability. So the call terms are making it balanced for each faction, and we're not just making America or Germany really overpowered compared to the GRM or the Russians, so they're balancing it out. But I feel as right now that the GRM are actually quite underpowered compared to Germany and America, because the first two factions that actually came out in Cold Arms was America and GRM, or I think America was first and then GRM came out a wee bit later. But I still feel like that GRM is a wee bit underpowered with its faction and its units. So I think maybe Call to Arms, if you're listening to this video, then maybe that's something that personally I feel like that's something maybe you could work on, is that, because I feel like I've played through the whole GRM campaign and I love it, and the whole community loves it on the channel. But when I do it on multiplayer or something, I feel like the GRM are quite underpowered, and they're not, I understand that you're trying to make everything, accurate in real life, in the GRM, but it's just, I don't feel as like they're as powerful. I mean, I presume GRM are not meant to be as powerful as America or Germany, because those are proper big countries, but and I understand that, but I just feel like it's not really balanced, and I don't think people who are playing GRM are going to get a lot. People who play GRM against another, if let's say two people are playing together, one is Germany, let's say when one of your friends went America and then you went GRM, I feel like you playing GRM are, you're basically, it's not balanced, it's not fair, and America will get the upper hand because they have like proper tanks, and we have Russian tanks, we have like the T-72 and all that, but even still, like with the squads and all that, I just think it's not really balanced, and I don't think it's really fair, and I think GRM is actually, it's quite poor for its faction right now, but that's personally my opinion. So yeah. Okay, moving on now to the most exciting thing that I was really, reading through all of this. Now, I know they've got pictures here. I don't know what these pictures are here for, but this is something that I've really been exciting. I've read through this and it's really, really exciting. It got me hyped through. This is the German campaign was the whole thing that got me excited out of all of this. But so we'll read through it. Now I'm gonna tell the truth here that they haven't mentioned much about the German campaign. They've only mentioned very little stuff, but I'll go through it and then I'll tell you my personal opinion of what I think of it. So, German campaign. So the German campaign has been completed, and we are now going through the internal QA, which pronounced question and answer, and prepare for its release. This is exciting, and something many of you have waited for a long time. You're goddamn right on that, Call to Arms. Of course, we are also working on many more improvements, fixes and new features. Call to Arms has a bright future ahead, and we thank you for joining us. So don't miss the autumn sale. So like I said, they haven't really mentioned much about this. They've only mentioned that it's completed, the German campaign is completed, and they're just going through the eternal Q&A and prepare for release. This is exciting and something many of you have been waiting for a long time. You're absolutely goddamn right, Call to Arms. We as a community have been waiting such a long time for the German campaign and the Russian campaign as well, but it looks like they haven't mentioned anything about the Russian campaign, so I presume that'll be coming later, probably maybe at the early stages of 2020 maybe, but I'm hoping that the German campaign will hopefully get released for Christmas or New Year's, because that'd be a really good present for us the community. That'd be a really good time to bring it out. But again, I think that it's something that I think that when bringing out the Ultimate Edition or a Season Pass with Germany and Russia, you said in the DLC of in the list where you buy the campaign or where you buy the Ultimate Edition, it says Germany and Russia with the campaigns. Now, but the thing is, you haven't brought out the campaigns with the Season Pass, which kind of made me, I feel kind of robbed of my money because of that. But on the other hand, understand, because it was all about maybe you know, concentrating on their factions, getting all the units right, you know, getting all the tanks right, make sure everything is correct, because I think, understand on one side that if they brought out, you know, 2 factions and then 2 campaigns, it'd be a lot for Call to Arms, and I don't think they would be able to do it. There'd be a lot of things rushed, and then a lot of things would be buggy in the campaign, and some units might be missing in the German and Russian faction. So I understand where they're coming from. So, but on the other hand, I think you should really consider with what you're saying when you know, promote, when bring out a DLC, you know. I mean, I'll even show you. I mean, when we go to, you know, let me go see if I can find the where is it, the DLCs. Where's the DLC? The store page? Yeah, is it the store page? I don't think it is a store page. No, wait, hold on. I'm kind of lost here. Hold on, give me a second. Where is the DLC? I'm trying to find the DLC. All right, okay, DLCs. Here we go. Manage my DLCs. So we have got so it says here we've got the Russian army, the German army. But when it goes to, when you click on season pass, if I can try and click on it, season pass. Can I click on season pass? Right, here we go. Alright, okay, here we go. So let's do season pass. Right, let's see what it says. Right, view all that. Give me a second. Cause it says here, right, give me a second. So I'm trying to get where it's, cause I'm sure it said somewhere that ignore the ambulance. So it says, so here we go. So the Ultimate Edition for Call to Arms includes the Deluxe Edition and Season Pass. The Season Pass includes the Allied Army DLC, including 2 minor faction and GRM single player campaign, which is alright. The German Army DLC, including the German faction and a... Shut up, ambulance! Oh, it's a fire. Sorry. It's a fire engine. The German Army DLC, including the German faction and new single player campaign, available soon. Right, so I actually didn't see that. I didn't actually where it says available soon. I didn't actually see that, because all I just saw was that the German faction and a new single player campaign. I didn't see available soon. So I retract my statement with what I said there. I didn't see where it said available soon. That is actually my bad. I misread it. So sorry, Call to Arms, for kind of for prejudging. I didn't actually see that. And then it says the Russian Army DLC, including the Russian faction and new single player campaign, not yet available. So, and the beta access to 2 new factions before they get released. So that's my bad for not reading it. I'm sorry, Call to Arms, for kind of judging quite quickly. I didn't actually see the available soon and not available yet. So my bad. I'm sorry I kind of said that, and I kind of retract my statement. It kind of says like that meme that you see on it. You see that I don't know if it's a meme where somebody makes a diss and it says, I retract my statement of what I said. Anyway, where am I? Right, okay. So here we go, we're back. So yeah, there we go. That is the update for you guys. And of course, Call to Arms is actually on the autumn sale right now. So it's 50% off. So you can get it for €7.79 or $7.49. And if you want to get the season pass, it's only $17. So, and everything is on the deluxe edition, the basic edition, and the ultimate edition is all on 50% off during the autumn sale. So I would get it. It's an awesome game, and if this is the first time you know reviewing, seeing the Call to Arms, and make sure you go check out my other videos actually on the gameplay, and then decide for yourself whether you want the game. But I definitely recommend it. So there we go, guys. That is the developers update 34 on Call to Arms, and a lot of new stuff coming to the game, such as you know, strategic maps, and then we've got cooperative. We've got the new Netcodes, Airstrike. We've got the what else? We've got the attacker versus defender game mode for Conquest coming soon. We've got a lot of new stuff coming for Call to Arms, and I can't wait for it to come out, especially the German campaign, which I'm most excited for, which hopefully will either be out for Christmas or New Year. Either one I'm really hoping to come out soon. But anyway guys, I'd like to just say thank you. I know this has been a very long video, and I know if you watched till the end, I just like to say thank you so much for watching. And if what do you guys, tell me down below in the comments what you guys think of this new update. Is there anything you disagree with me? Is there anything you agree with me? And let me know of what your thoughts are below. But anyway guys, I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching and all your support, and make sure if you are new here, make sure you subscribe, comment down below, like the video if you liked it, and also click the notification bell, because what that means is that every time I release a video, that means you'll get notified of a Call to Arms video when I next release it. And also anybody who does subscribe will get a shout out towards the end or the start of the video. So yeah, nice touch there. But anyway guys, I just like to say thank you so much for watching and all your support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later and goodbye.